Hello, I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend, and I hope you guys had a chance to go out and enjoy some weather, or maybe get some exercise or catch up on some things at home. But here today we're going to have fun creating some earrings. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate you taking the time to being here with all of us from artbeads.com. So really quick, we have shoppable links that will be at the bottom of the screen. Hi, Michelle. Good morning. If you have any questions, I can see your comments and respond to you on artbeads.com. If you're watching on replay and you do have a question, feel free to post it. I do try to catch up on comments later to answer questions if you missed the live. And also on the YouTube channel, I try to capture any questions or comments that might be there to see if I can help out if I missed something. But if you're watching a replay or YouTube, I will catch those later. So if you're here live with us on Artbeads, I can see your comments below, and I'm just so glad that you're here with us today. So we're going to have fun learning how to make some charm earrings. I've done this a few times myself. It's a lot. It's great. So basically we're going to use a hole punch, and we're going to take a charm, and we're going to make earring pendants. So, it depends on what your comfort level is with metalworking, or if you want to punch at all, or if you want to make earrings. But if you're open to trying something new and some new tools, I thought I'd introduce a few ideas that you could work with for something new, for some creative earring ideas that you can try at home. And thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to flip my camera around and point it down so that we can get going. Let's have fun cracking out some earrings. Somebody wants to give me a problem somewhere doing something. All right. So, gotta get this stupid bar out of the way. Here we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. So I'm not able to zoom in. I'm going to drop my arm down a little bit so you guys can see better. If you can't see, if it's too close or anything, please let me know. I'm trying to adjust settings so that way everybody can see, because I get feedback on if it's too far or too close, whatever. So just let me know. That way, is everything good? Okay, so we're going to move on. So I'm working with some copper charms. These are vintage ones. They're really nice. And these are lightweight. They're great for a pendant, for necklace, or for earrings. They're not heavy at all. And then they come pre-punched at the top, which is what I use as a starting point. So I put my ear wires here, and we're going to be punching down here. So to start with, you want to take a piece of tape. This is just kind of a hack until you get comfortable working with punching. And you want to just kind of tape the top part down on your table and have the center punch in the middle. Let me rotate this around a little bit, because you want this to stay put while you're marking your spots. So next I'm going to grab a ruler and a permanent marker, and you want to, again, this is just how you want to make sure your dots are nice and uniform on your charm. So you're going to take your ruler, and you're going to have the line straight from the top of where your punch is, your hole punch is up here. And you're going to hold your ruler in place, and you're going to make your first mark down here. And you want it to be in the center of this other hole punch. And you also want to leave enough room so you can put your tool in here, punch a hole on your charm, and you don't want it too close to the bottom of the charm, because then it will actually potentially split down here, and then you won't have the hole that you need to add your charm. So you want to have holes that you punch down here, and you want to have a little bit of space between the base of the charm here and the top of your hole punch. If it's too close to the bottom, it will fall through and it won't support your charm. So you want to make nice little hole punches with a little bit of space between the base of the charm and your punch. And it might take a few practices. I've screwed up. Hello, Eric. I've screwed up these before, just kind of trying to teach myself how to punch holes in metal. And this is a nice metal. I think it's like 24 gauge, so it's easy to punch. It won't hurt your hand, or shouldn't hurt your hand. And just introducing these really quick, I'll be using the 1.25 millimeter Euro punch. This is great for punching holes in metal. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one down. So again, you have your first one taped down to your table, and you just want to use your ruler, and you're going to bring it down. You're going to put your first hole in there. So you just want to double check, okay, good, this is lined up pretty good. Okay, I'm going to put my first hole about there. Then you're going to take your ruler again, and I'm going to go about 1/4 of an inch, let's say. And I'm going to rotate my ruler around from my first hole, and I'm going to bring around and say, you know, how much space do I want to have between each holes, right? So I want to have about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to put one there. So this just kind of lets me know from where each line is, how I'm going to go around. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, I'm going to use this part of my roller, so I'm going to go about here. So it helps you kind of mark down where you want to put your punch lines on the main charm. And then as you're punching, you want to get them as close to the bottom as you can without punching them too close to the base. So I'm just going to put 3 punches in, so that one's good. So you can do the same for your second one. Again, tape it down. You want to make sure that your lines are in the same spot. You can use different hacks if you want, like kind of line them up and draw your dots. If you want, you can just tape them both down and draw your lines. One other thing that I do sometimes is I punch one and then I line up the second charm to it and I just punch through it. That way the punches are in the same place. You can just do whatever you feel comfortable with comfort-wise. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and just tape this second one down, just the top. And again, you want to take your ruler. We're going to go from the top here and line it up next to that top hole and bring it down here and make our line. And you can just go, okay, yep, those match. Okay, we're good. And then just take, again, measure how far you want the other line to be. We're going to go about here. So I'm going to go about here for this one. And then rotate it around and go about here for this one. So I have both of my charms ready to be punched. I'm going to get the tape out of the way. And if it's not perfect, it's okay. Also, the permanent marker will rub off. It doesn't stay on there permanently. And if for some reason it doesn't, you can just flip it around and use this as your front charm. So you have a little bit as you're working with these that you can kind of get away with where you're like, oops, I have this, so I'll just flip around, no one's going to know. So next you want to take your metal hole punch, and this you want to make sure it's screwed down on the top nice and tight, that way it doesn't loosen up as you're punching. You also want to have a sharp punching, not sure what this part's called, like whatever points out, you want to make sure it's sharp. Mine looks like it's battered a little bit as you use it. Sometimes the end will round or it will kind of curve around. So it does come with 2 of these. When you buy a pair of these, you will have 2 separate, whatever these are, puncture parts. So that way when the one does kind of wear down, you'll have a backup one, and these are sold separately. So you can just insert a new section. So you take your charm, and you just find the spot that you want. And I'm doing this on camera, so it's a little bit funky because I'm trying to make sure you guys can see what you're doing while I'm doing it through the phone. But you kind of want to just make sure you're in the right spot, again, straight down from where you were. And before you punch down, check out your location on your charm. You know, is it close enough to the bottom? Is there enough space where if I punch here, it won't go through the bottom, making a large gap, which means, oh, I can't add my charm. Okay, it looks like I'm in a good spot. Now, the other thing you do is you flip it around. The back here has a hole on this tool, and it will show you where your hole is being punched on your metal piece. So this will tell you exactly where you're lined up on the back of the charm, but it'll also tell you where your hole will be made. So it lets you know exactly where you're at on the charm with your hole. So if you can't tell from the front, which is kind of hard because you're looking at a screw bottom, and it's kind of hard to tell from the top, from the side, well, you kind of have an idea. You know, I have space right here, so this is a good idea to tell me kind of where I'm at. This will also tell you where you're at. So, hello, Dominique. Hello, Kim. So you just want to kind of double check before you punch. All right, cool. Am I in the right spot? Looks like I have enough room before I press down, because once you press down, if it's in the wrong spot, you can work around it and, you know, nobody will notice maybe, but also it might be to where it's too much and then you have to start over again and you don't want to go through a bunch of terms. So for me, I'm like, okay, that's a good spot on the back. The side looks good. The front looks good. It's nice and even. Okay, I'm just going to press down. And it's not hard to press down. It's super easy. These are thin charms, but not too thin where they hold their shape, but it's also, it doesn't hurt your hand to just press down. So then you lift and pull out your thing and you have a hole. So sometimes you'll have this little divot in the back. So what I do is I just grab my wire cutters and I cut it off. And it still isn't maybe flat enough. So you can take your hole punch here and just go through it again. And that'll just help kind of flatten it, round it out. It's going to be flat and completely flat on the front side where you punched. The back might have a little bit of a rough edge. So the other thing you can do is just grab some pliers and kind of press it down. If you want, you can grab a little metal file and file it down, like whatever your tools are that you feel comfortable using at home. I think that's good. So I have my first hole punch. So the other thing that I like to do is I'm just going to line both of these up like so. This is kind of how I cheat. I'm like, okay, so I have a hole in this one. I have my second charm behind it. I'm just going to go through my previous hole punch here and punch this one. So then they go through the same spot. And then I have my second hole punch. So I'm just going to kind of do this one again. And there we go. And cut this off. So I'm going back to my first one, and now I'm going to punch my second hole. So you want to make sure your holes are lined up as best as you can so they go in order. So you want to line up your punch, and again, before you punch down, make sure, is it in the right spot? Width-wise, does it line up with my previous hole? So is my hole punch in the same location as the other one? Like, do they line up okay? Because you want to, as much as you can, have them go in order instead of having one here and like one way up here. So you can gauge it as best as you can. So I'm like, okay, I'm on my spot. I'm in the right spot comparative with where my previous punch was. They look like they line up. And again, kind of flip it around. It looks good from the back. And it looks like I have about the same distance from the side. So I'm going to go ahead. Actually, I'm going to move just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and press down on this one and just press down again. And then cut off the back like so. And just kind of press it down. That way you don't have any metal that's kind of sticking up that might irritate you as you're working. And I have two. So this is just how I hole punch. I'm sure other people have other ideas that they use. This is just something I found that works for me. Okay, so I'm going to do this one again. You want to make sure that your metal is nice and flat. And punch it one more time. I'm going to punch it from the back. Okay, so now we have two holes. This is exciting because pretty soon we're going to make charms to put in these holes. So, all right, I'm going to move this over and I'm going to add my third one. And again, before I punch anything, I just want to make sure my hole punch is lined up with the other ones. And yeah, you can use a marker through them, absolutely. So I just want to make sure it's kind of lined up, same position again, back, front. Do I have about the same distance between the previous two holes? It looks like I'm good. So I'm just going to make sure I line it up distance-wise. And I'm going to go ahead and punch this one down. And this can be tricky. Sometimes it takes a few times to kind of get down your own routine on how you like to do this, but I enjoy being able to punch my own charms. It's fun. So we have our first one finished, and you have the three holes, and they're lined up towards the bottom and across from each other, I think, pretty equally. So we have our first one finished to make a pair of earrings. And then if you want, a lot of times the permanent marker will kind of rub off if you rub on it a little bit. And if it doesn't come off enough, you can just flip your charm around. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my second one here, and then we're going to add some stones. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to cut the back on these ones. So how is everybody today? I hope everybody is having a wonderful Tuesday. and that you had a great Labor Day. I didn't really do much. I didn't feel really good this weekend, so I just kind of stayed home and tried to work and make stuff. Yeah, alcohol is a good idea. Sometimes just rubbing it off, and I also have a metal polishing rag, that'll just take it off too. So, all right, we have both charms ready to go. So now that you have your charms ready, I'm going to flatten this one down a little bit. We're going to make some charms. So I was looking for some fun glass pieces yesterday online that reminded me a little bit of the fall, September, October, the warm months for the fall. Here we go, orange colors. I just thought this would be a beautiful glass to use. It has a blend of turquoise and brown and oranges, and it's a beautiful faceted shape. These are Raven Journey glass, and the shoppable link is posted. You can use these for bracelets. I absolutely love this glass. It's beautiful. And the colors, it's like a Picasso blend. I love this glass. So I saw this and was like, this would be great for a charm. I'm going to build around it. So I have some smaller 3mm fire polish glass. It's turquoise color. This is great as an accent anytime you want to make charms for earrings. They also work great for a bracelet. And I'm also using these 3x5mm or 5x3mm Picasso. They're like a rondelle, and they're shiny and they're faceted, and they have this beautiful like soft turquoise mint color. And so I thought these colors would work great together for a charm. Now, I'm not sure what kind of a charm I'm going to use. I just thought I would design with you guys on camera because that is fun, just kind of going off the hip here. I'm using copper ball head pins. We're currently sold out. We're working on getting some. So for the shoppable link, I subbed out rose gold. But we do have a link provided for the copper ones. If you want to sign up on the email list, they'll let you know when they're back in stock. Because, I'm using copper, so I'm using copper head pins. But the rose gold is a pretty close substitute color-wise, if you want to try that. So when I'm doing earring charms, you want to balance out shape and textures, and you don't want them to be too heavy on your charm. You want them to kind of lay nice with a dangle and not be too heavy. And also I'm looking at weight proportionate wise for size. So, flush cutter. What you mean when you're punching down? It's like just using wire cutters. They're super easy to use. Sorry, I'm trying to answer that question. You don't have to press down at halt. Now, if you're using like 20 gauge metal, you might have to press a little bit harder. But you also will need a different size punch, which I have a larger one. It's like 1.85. That's for thicker metal. If you go any larger than that, you want to get an actual like hand press where you press down to punch holes. So for this one, when I'm designing charms, I'm looking at the size. Like I don't want them to be too small where this swallows it up. I want it to be a balanced look. Now you could wire wrap a bunch of these, which would be fun. I've done this before, and have little clusters, the turquoise beads at the bottom and dangle down. That would be fun. Just literally have a bunch of turquoise beads on the base. It's super cute. And so for these ones, I'm going to start this as like a bead stopper / kind of like a way to grab your eye. And I'm going to add this one next, I think. Now, I'm just kind of designing on the fly. You can do these beads however you want. I'm just trying to figure out what might look good for a dangle. I don't know yet. Sometimes I make something, I don't like it, and I take it apart and try it 30 different times. But who doesn't? We're all designers. We all do that. Take something apart, look at it again, try again. That's the fun part of making earrings. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to shout out in the comments, hey, I like the beads the other direction. Yeah, I don't know. That one's okay. So anyways, you just kind of grab your beads and design what you think is cute for a little dangle. Like there's lots of different options. I think I'm just going to do one. I really love this orange bead. I kind of want this to be a focal point too. I'm sorry, I keep finding cat hair mixed in my beads because She loves to lay on my mat and take it over. So before I finish it, I'm going to like lay on the bottom of my charm here and kind of look at it and go, is this the look I'm going for? That's kind of cute, you know, hanging on the bottom here. And it has a nice size, so it kind of balances out with the copper charm here. And you can do a couple of those. You could also punch more holes and have more going along the bottom, you know, you could go all the way around. What do you guys think? Do you guys like that? Do you think it's cute for a charm? I think it's cute. You could also add spacer beads. I don't have that on the shoppable links, but it would be fun to add like some copper spacer beads or something. Michelle's going to kill me if I throw in anything else at the last minute. I'm like, let's add copper beads. Go. I don't have any copper seed beads. Okay, well, if you have copper seed beads, you might throw some of theirs in. I don't have any. Okay, well, that's all right. I mean, like, this just screams that you need a copper spacer bead in here somewhere, like right here. Just like right there would be fantastic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get going on some charms here. So when I wire wrap a ball head pin, I love that idea, Anne. Yes. Totally Native American coloring here. I go ahead and I use my round nose pliers here, and I grab my chain nose pliers and I take my wire and I roll in the outside barrel. And then I'm going to rotate my barrel here, my round nose pliers, up about 45-degree angle. And I like the idea too, stacking jump rings is fantastic. And I'm going to bring my wire back over the outside of my round nose pliers of the other barrel. So this forms a loop. Let me take this off. So we have a loop here established. All right, cool. So we've got a loop. So next I'm going to grab my pliers and we're going to go around. And I keep bumping my camera because it's low so y'all can see, sorry. And we're going to go around. And I just go a couple wraps around the base of my loop and I cut off the excess wire. Like so. And I'm going to pinch it underneath the coils I have made. Like so, if it stops moving. There we go. And then the back is nice and flat. That way it's not poking out any stems. All right, stop moving. Okay, now now it's cooperating. And then just make sure that my loop here is up nice and straight and flat. So we have one of our charms made. Now again, you can mix this up, add seed beads, add spacer beads. It's just a really quick idea on how to use some glass. So I'm going to do this 3 times for each earring. And I really like these glass colors together. They're really pretty. And the glass that you have left over, you can use it for a matching bracelet to go with your earrings. Or you could turn another one of these into a pendant, make it into a necklace. So that's an idea. Or you can make another pair of earrings and give it to your friend for Christmas. Because pretty soon we all got to start getting ready for Christmas orders and making and selling or jewelry for Christmas or giving away Christmas gifts and jewelry. And it takes time to make those. So it's just right around the corner. Yeah, turn a charm into a link. That's a fantastic idea. You can flip this around and use it for multi-strand bracelets. The other thing I've done with these is I hammer them. And then you can put them in liver of sulfur for a little bit extra patina. But I hammer these all the time for texture also. I just don't want to hammer on camera because it will be really loud. But if you wanted to grab a hammer off of the Art Beads website, they have some with different texture things that like snap on the end of the hammer, and then you can hammer these and make really cool dents and stuff like that. I wish I had a pair to show you guys of ones that I hammered, but I think I do on my Instagram. I need to double check, but I did a pair of these. And then what I did is I wire wrapped drops going all the way around it. Oh, they came out so cute. I love these charms. These copper pieces, you can do so much with them. Ooh, yeah, tiger's eye would be wonderful, Robin. That is a great idea because then you're incorporating some brown in with it as well. Okay. All right, I'm going to grab another one. I love the idea of tiger's eye, especially coming into the fall. That's putting more brown in there, and that's a really good idea. Could probably also mix in some cornelian agate or some actual turquoise if you want. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do. Or lapis. I just love lapis right now. I feel like that blue stone you can do so much with it. Okay, and I'm trying to stay on camera here. I'm going to actually lift this up a little bit so I have some room to work. Sorry, guys. I hope you can still see okay. Yes, I love the idea of pumpkins. I did a tutorial last year on how to make pumpkin check glass. And then you take copper wire and make curlies over the top so you have pumpkin earrings. It's so cute. And it doesn't take that long at all. And yeah, you can take these cute little pumpkin check glass beads. They're for sale on artbeads.com too. And then I just took some copper wire and twisted it around this guy. And then they had cute little stems everywhere. They were adorable. That's a great idea for their pumpkins coming up. And I'm going to do these. See, these are fun. You could almost sub these in as pumpkins and do cute little curls over the top too. So when I'm done with my 3 charms here, I'm going to go and attach it to the main charm, and then you'll have your first pair, one of your earrings finished. Here. This thing has to keep rolling off. There you go. Get back on there. There we go. But anyways, these copper charms are fun. I've used them for lots of different kind of earrings and connector pieces. So you can do a lot with them. And they're lightweight, which is also great if you want to make some earrings. And I'm going to pinch this down. Okay. So I have some beads. So I'm going to grab some jump rings. And also, just really quick, using these tools, you can use these for a lot of different metal components. Like if you buy charms online with holes pre-done and you want to add holes, I use this for a lot of my metalworking. The punch works great and it's comfortable to use. It's not difficult to handle. As long as you're using the right gauge of copper sheeting, for example, I would not go past 20 gauge with my hands with any punching tool, because the thicker metal you get, the harder it is to punch. And 18 gauge is, you'll probably want to have like an actual like metal punch to work with. That's too big. I don't like that. I'm going to make a smaller one. So for the earrings, I'm using 3 or 4 millimeter jump rings. That's what I have in the shopping link. I like to use smaller ones if I can. That way they're kind of hiding in the charm. But if you do this and find you need more space, you could probably go with a 6 millimeter one, depending on where your punch line is on the charm. Because sometimes if you punch higher up, you're going to need a larger jump ring. Oh, and also happy September. I can't believe we're already in September. This year's flying by so fast. It just seems like it was June not too long ago, and then poof. It's like almost Christmas time. I'm sure somebody has a clock somewhere showing what the countdown is till we get to Christmas. Okay. And here we go. All right, I'm going to put the last one in here. And here's our last one. So I'm just, again, connecting these charm dangles directly to the main part with some 3 millimeter jump rings. So here you go. You have a cute pair of earrings. Doesn't take very long to make these at all. And you just add your ear wire at the top. And then I'm going to finish the second charm here in a second. and these just slide on your ear wire. I'm using a French style ear wire. I also have one in the shoppable link. It's a little bit easier with these. You just open up the loop. Yes, you can wire wrap your components directly to this if you want. I just use jump rings so it's easier on camera, but you can wire wrap directly onto here if you want. It depends on what level of comfortability you have wire wrapping. So then for this one, I have this one finished and it's ready to go. Yay! The other thing you can do too is if you don't like this blank, you can hammer this directly so you can have a fun texture on there if you have a texture hammer, or you can lay a charm over the top. So I don't have any copper charms to add per se, but let's pretend this is a copper charm. You could just find a charm that you might have and just lay it over the top so you have a little bit of extra decoration over this portion. Sorry about my camera. I like to hammer these parts so I have the really nice like divots going throughout, and then I add liver sulfur so it gives a little bit of a different antique copper look, or you can just leave it, plain like this. These are also really cute earrings. So I'm going to go ahead and do some more charms, and we're going to finish the second one here, and then we'll have a completed pair of earrings in almost under a half an hour. So that is a pretty fast turnaround. And with the glass that you're buying today, if you have leftovers, you can add, a bracelet into the mix and make a matching bracelet or a necklace. If you make another one of these, you can have matching pendants. So there's a lot that you can do. Yeah, I'm so glad you placed an order, Robin. You will love working with this stuff. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help you out. And you can definitely add metal paints. So Art Beads does not have metal paints for sale at this time, but you could use an alcohol ink or a metal paint. The other thing that I do is you can also add mica powder. So that's what I use with some of my stuff, is you can use mica powder mixed with a glue. Let's see, what do I use? I just had a mind blank. Mod Podge. So you can take mica powder, it's for sale on Amazon, mix it with some Mod Podge, you paint over the metal and it will stick. And then you can just seal it in if you want to with a spray. But Mod Podge also is a fun way to color metal. So yeah, you can have like alcohol inks, you can use vintage inks, whatever you happen to have available. Yeah, I love vintage paints. I have a whole bunch. Art Beads doesn't carry them right now, but maybe someday they will. So for right now, using Art Bead stuff, they do have texture hammers available, and that way you can hammer this if you want, or you can just, get a metal punch and experiment and see what you feel comfortable with working with metal at home. Yeah. Yeah, I asked about patina paint, and I was told that there isn't any that to use for right now, but who knows, maybe that will change in the future. So I'm just going to go wire wrap this guy. So again, I'm doing 3 charms on the bottom. I'm doing 3 charms because I feel like it balances out the size of the copper charm nicely. You don't have too many, and it's not too heavy on the ear either. The more you add glass, the heavier the earrings will be. So you want to just keep it a nice balance for size as well as balanced with the copper charm. And Luna is making her appearance. She's like, hi guys, I'm going to sit right on the mat. She wants to be an Art Beads buddy, and she is going to join the Art Beads Facebook group today. If you guys haven't done that already and you're on Facebook, Art Beads does have a fun Facebook group where we encourage our friends there to post their jewelry creations from our tutorials, or if you have any questions, or if you've ordered anything from Art Beads and you just want to share it with everybody, feel free to post it on the group because we love to see what everybody is making with Art Beads. All right, so I have 3 finished, so I'm going to grab jump rings with these 2. I love that idea of the tiny wood beads because then you would have a splash of brown color, and they will match the glass, and also using wood is very lightweight, so it's a good way to add texture or color to your beads without adding a lot of weight because the wood is very lightweight. How long have I been creating jewelry? About 12 years. Yeah, 12 years this year. I will probably think I just reached my anniversary this week. I started making jewelry, I want to say the summer of 2012. And then I started getting published in 2013, I think. Okay. Isn't she so pretty? She's very colorful. She looks like an autumn kitty. She definitely has the brown and the orange fur. And she just loves to be a part of the lives with art beads and to hang out with you guys. She's told me she loves artbeads.com and that she shops there and buys beads and that she loves to make jewelry. I promise you she said that. Yeah, she just like sitting here hanging out with you guys. Don't you, kitty, kitty? Yeah. She's like, I love artbeads.com. You need to buy all of your stuff there. All right, so I'm going to add my last ear wire here. And I'm going through the top part. I will take off the permanent marker later. I just want to be able to do this part. So now we have the second done and our first done. So now you have a beautiful pair of earrings. Oh, yeah, when you were 10. Yeah, I loved to have beads when I was little. I used to carry a box of beads around when I was a little kid. I think I loved jewelry making since I was teeny tiny. I just didn't really know what I was doing at the time. So then you have this beautiful pair of earrings. So that's what they look like together. This is what they look like separately. I think it's a really pretty color combination of the mint and the turquoise and the orange with the copper. And they're super lightweight. So even if you have ear sensitivity, like these are not heavy at all, but they look big and boho, which is fun to have big earrings that aren't heavy. So that's another trick with these charms is you have the look of a big pair of earrings, but these are super lightweight. It's almost as light as paper. So it's a fun way to get away with like big earrings for the summer if you're a swimsuit or your dress. And I just love these. These are like really nice fall colors. And so again, for this one, we have the copper charms. You want to have some ear wires, some ball head pins, your 3 strands of glass, and then you'll want to pick up this really fun tool. And I'm using, again, the 1.25 millimeter size punch. And this works for so many size charms. So if you buy Terra cast charms, if you buy just a copper sheet that's blank, or if you just want to experiment with punching, this is like the one pair you really want to have for most charms. This is a great pair. And again, here's a close-up of the earrings. So this is a really fun project, and it doesn't cost hardly anything to make these earrings. And again, you'll have leftover glass, so you can make a matching bracelet, a necklace, another pair of earrings for your friends. You guys could be twinning and matching earrings and having a good time. So I think these would be really great to wear for, you're still in early fall, so we could still be like in summertime clothes. And I just think these would be great for a dress. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Art Beads team. If something's sold out, sign up for the email reminder. We will put you on the list and let you know when the items are back in stock. And if you have any tutorial questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to flip my camera around really quick. Say hi, Luna.